Deborah Curtis and serving as the Interim Associate Dean for the College of Integrative Medicine and Health Sciences. And on behalf of our college and the College of Social Sciences, we thank our former CIMHS Dean, Dr. Donald Moss, for creating this opportunity for our Saybrook alumni to present their doctoral research and professional work throughout the academic year. So tonight, Dr. Charlotte Hamilton and I are hosting the session, and we're featuring two guest speakers who graduated from CIMHS and CSS. Each presenter has up to 30 minutes to discuss their work and 10 minutes for Q&A. So if you have any questions during the talk, submit them in the chat and we will facilitate the discussion afterward. And to begin, I'd like to introduce our first presenter, Dr. Tamami Shirai, who graduated in 2018 with a PhD in mind-body medicine. And she will share foundational knowledge about the evidence and practice of Shinrin-yoku, also known as forest bathing in urban wellness. Dr. Hamilton, did you want to?
Oh, thank you, Dr. Curtis, and thank you for that introduction. I just wanted to introduce Dr. Christine Poindexter-Harris as the Associate Dean for the College of Social Sciences and myself as the Dean of the College of Social Sciences. And we are happy to partner with CIMHS on the Dean Symposium this year. Thank you, Debbie, and I'm looking forward to the presentations tonight. And welcome, everyone.
Thank you. So we'll hand this over to you, Tamami.
Okay, can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Dr. Curtis, for the warm introduction. It's a great honor to return to the Saybrook community. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Moss for inviting me. Last year, I had the privilege of reviewing a nature-related article for a journal at Dr. Moss's request. And I also enjoyed presenting at the Saybrook seminar last summer. Being invited back to speak on this specific theme today is a great honor, and I'm truly grateful for this opportunity. I don't have any financial relationships with commercial interests. I serve voluntarily as a board member of the Japanese Society of Lifestyle Medicine. I serve voluntarily as an International Development Task Force member of the World Life Medicine Organization. As a Saybrook alumna, my background is rooted in mind-body medicine. Currently, I serve as the chair of the Japanese Society of Lifestyle Medicine, JSLM. I'm also affiliated with the School of Medicine at UC San Diego and the Institute of Nutrition Sciences at Kagawa Nutrition University in Japan. As a researcher, my interest lies in lifestyle medicine, specifically through comparative studies between the US and Japan and the UK and Japan and so on. My particular work focuses on cardiac patients and individuals with metabolic syndrome. I also serve in editorial leadership roles for several international journals, such as Associate Editor for Lifestyle Medicine Research and Reviews, which is based in Romania, and American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine Advances in UK, and a Lifestyle Medicine through Wiley. This is also from the UK. I'm also certified functional food scientist. This is a lifestyle medicine model. And as you may be familiar with, the lifestyle medicine model has 6 pillars, which is the nutrition, exercise, social connection, quality of sleep, stress management, and avoid risky substances, which is tobacco, alcohols, and drugs. However, since the founding of JSLM, we have established our own framework that includes 2 foundations to support these pillars: behavioral change and a safe environment and nature. We believe that in order to achieve sustainable behavioral change, nature plays a great supportive role. Today, I'd like to introduce this nature-based approach and practice of forest bathing, which was called in Japan as Shinrin-yoku. This is objectives. So this is a real-world examples of green adaptation, vertical forest from Europe, Netherlands, and Milan, Italy. These buildings integrate trees and plants directly into urban architecture. This is another example from Tokyo, Japan. This is an automatic business district. These areas were designed to improve the work environment and reduce urban stress. These are the examples of healthcare facilities. The left one is the famous Green Hospital from Singapore, and the right side is the Maggie's Centers from UK, which is for the cancer patients community. So these examples, their goal is a transition to urban strategy for delivering nature's benefits. This is a summary of the article, one publication, which is very, very good summarize about the nature-based solutions and mental health. They mention about the prescribed green exercise, walking or light jogging in forests or parks, and also the prescribed group walks and the horticultural therapies, and a care farming, participating in farm work, animal care, agricultural activities, and animal-assisted therapies, interacting with the dogs, cats, horses. So the summary is the physical benefits focused from green exercise. Social psychological benefits is from group walks, attention restoration, and self-efficacy from horticultural therapy. Overall lifestyle improvement from care farming and agriculture activities, emotional and social support from animal-assisted therapy. This is another article, and this is the public health implications of nature exposure. They found two consensus. Number one is well-being. Number two is mental illness risk. So well-being, positive emotions, happiness, meaning of life, social connection, and cognitive learning, and reduce distress. And mental illness risk increase better sleep and less stress, and decreased depression, anxiety, ADHD, and moderated by socioeconomic status, gender, and age. So green space-based approaches may help reduce antidepressant prescriptions at the population level, which is a huge cost globally. This is a perspective from public health. So urban natural environments as nature-based solutions for improved public health, a systematic review of reviews. They collected systematic reviews, and then they did again the systematic review. So they found strong evidence, improved emotional well-being, and also the heat reduction in cities linked to lower cardiovascular mortality. There are two pathways: behavioral social pathway, which is stress reduction, physical activity, social interaction, and also the environmental regulation, temperature moderation, air quality. And implications of practice is integrating health and well-being indicator into urban planning is probably good. This is another article from 2025 and 2024, and the quality of urban green spaces. So a lot of green is of course good, but it's not only the quantity. So high quality of urban green spaces is more important. So they said presence of diverse vegetation. So which means not only one tree is planted And when flowers are planted, they need more variety of plants and trees, and also blue space. For example, ponds, waterfalls, streams, rivers. The combination would be good. And also the birds species. If you have a more variety of bird species, that would add more value. And also the landscaping. Flat landscape, green park is good. However, more the land which imitate more natural land, like a path or mountains or hills with a river pond, that would be more effective. In the 2024 article, they found optimal evaluation buffers, which is the distance of the green space. So green space is of course good, but not necessarily just the close neighborhood. 100 meter and 500 meter immediate neighborhood green for daily interaction is good, but also 2 kilometer, 5 kilometer, a little bit far distance, but all the environmental context, that would be a big park, that would be mixtures, is much more effective. So just to think about the 500 meter only green is good, that would not be a good idea. So that it's full health impact, if you would like to maximize the impact, we would need both closer neighborhood and also a little bit distance of big park. Also maintenance and the quality of the city is important. So new urban areas, higher greenness consistently correlates with the positive health outcomes. But all the urban areas, potential negative impacts is mosquitoes or pests. So the maintenance is very important. Conclusion is that planning must be context specific. Maintenance and quality matter as much as quantity. Physiological pathways of nature exposure. This is the most probably strongest evidence we have found for blood pressure. Forest bathing is significantly reduced systolic blood pressure, minus 3.15 millimeter Hg. And diastolic blood pressure, forest bathing reduced minus 1.71 millimeter Hg. But this result was not statistically significant. This indicates that forest bathing has a clear and statistically proven effect in lowering systolic blood pressure. As you may know that the blood pressure should be within a certain range, 120 and 80, and the systolic blood pressure is the upper side. So if you have a systolic blood pressure 120, or if you elevated 123, so that if you go to the maybe forest bathing, so that you could potentially reduce 3 millimeter Hg. So it looks a little bit small in our daily measuring blood pressure. However, it is a population based of the number, so that it's almost relevant with the 10% of a decrease of the risk of stroke risk, and also the coronary heart disease. And also another article indicates that greater access to nature is associated with reduced cardiovascular mortality risk. And the third article also mentioned that they found associated with improved immune regulation, increased NK cell activities, and reduced inflammation. So this is the mechanism of the forest bathing. So phytoncides is the key. So this is a mechanism, trees produce phytoncide, which is a plant-derived antimicrobial compounds. So plants and trees have scars if it rains, and also the wind comes, leaves and trees receives a lot of scars. Those scars would produce phytoncides, and which includes this is alpha pinene or limonene or a beta pinene or etc. So that this effect is directly work with the nervous system, increase parasympathetic nervous system, and decrease sympathetic activity, and decrease hormones such as adrenaline and noradrenaline and cortisol, and increase NK cell activity and immune effective molecules. So the key message is that we smell the probably phytoncides, and that respond to nervous system, and they respond to hormones and enhance the immunity. So this is the mechanism of the forest bathing. After the rain, if you walk in the forest or a park, you could smell more trees or very, very nice smells from trees. That is a phytoncide. So phytoncides, this is the animal test, and they found that anti-inflammatory, anti-asthma, anti-allergic effects. And however, with the human studies, forest bathing and waterfall exposure show potential immune benefits. Still, we need a lot of research in this field. We actually don't know well about the phytoncides, how it works, which part of the elements work, which part of our body, the brains, or other organs. So we actually don't know yet. Strong evidence we have is mental health. So main effect is for depression, anxiety, stress, and anger in both clinical and non-clinical samples, with particularly notable effects on anxiety symptoms. And another research mentioned that the greater effects were observed in female participants and the Japanese or Asian participants. And an interesting finding is that just a brief 15 minutes exposure is beneficial. On the right side, I made an Excel put in this deck. And then this is a comparison between forest bathing and urban walking. So depression, I highlighted with yellow the significant difference. And depression significantly reduced and that sustained for 1 week. But urban walking, it didn't happen. Just a smaller effect. And of course, it decreased anxiety. And the serotonin significantly increased, but the urban walking, non-significant change. And oxytocin is a greater increase. And urban walking in oxytocin is increased, but it's smaller. And IGF-1 and significantly increased, and no change in urban walking. So this study is matched distance, time, and intensity. So, and they compared, I believe this is in Japan. And then I'm not sure about the urban walking, how urban area has greens, but this indicates that definitely we have clearly benefits from forest bathing. Also, great environments and cognitive health in older people. So this is the used UK Biobank data, huge data. And the higher outdoor physical activity for senior was associated with a 16% lower dementia risk. Effects were stronger for vascular dementia. Dementia has several different types of dementia, specifically for vascular dementia. And associations were stronger in areas with more residential green space. So greater green exposure was also linked to healthier brain structure on MRI scan. So it suggests a protective role of green environment for cognitive health in aging. This is a large sample and a longer follow-up, and there's a lot of strengths. However, this is still observational design, so that we don't know about the causality. So nature engagement, gardening. The first article examined the relationship with gardening and sleep. This is in US, a huge nationwide study from 2024. with adults, and gardening associated with fewer sleep complaints. So interpretation is that regular gardening may support sleep health. It is likely through the physical activity or stress reduction and the daily routine. Of course, this is also observational design, so that there's a limitation. However, gardening is associated with better sleep at the population level. The lower side of this study from 2022 is a school gardening. This is a systematic review and for children's study. And children did school gathering. They increased nutrition knowledge, of course, and positive attitudes toward fruits and vegetables. And this is a very interesting part, willingness to try healthy foods, which means the gardening is expand the choice of the behavior. So this is a very interesting finding, I think. If you can't go to the forest or a park, maybe home-bounded or maybe hospital-bounded people, we can do the virtual reality Shinrin-yoku. So virtual reality works, and the heart rate variability increased, decreased heart rate, and decreased anxiety, depression, and increased comfort and creativity. So virtual reality nature enhances relaxation and well-being in groups. So another virtual reality test with the college students, this is a randomized control trial, decreased anxious arousal and worry, and the strongest effects in women, not men. And the people who use virtual reality users, they have more benefits. And outdoor enthusiasts have more benefits. And also the nature appreciators, they get more benefits. So conclusion is that virtual reality nature can reduce anxiety, but effectiveness depends on user who they are. This is the actually real life example from Japan. They do the smart farming. The company name is Plantio, and their business is increasing urban farming technology. They use a small device and assisting farming community and assisting indoor farming. And the left side is the packet we could purchase. And they plant in the middle of the, they plant in a nice pot, and then it's growing. And they put those sensors in the pot. And then you can manage through your smartphone. So their plan is share IoT farming Otemachi. In Tokyo, I introduced the business district. They have a lot of green planning designed for business district, but they also plan, the Plantio is helping to individual farming community on the roof of the business district. And many young people actually participate, and also that they enjoyed their blossom, vegetables, fruits, and they could eat at home. That sensor is very interesting. They said which part of the plants needs attention. So that if I go through this building, some of the plants need water, I could receive. So that some plants need water so that they can go to that place and they just add water. So it's a very, very interesting communication tool for younger people. So this is the key challenges in urban green spaces, environmental limitations, air pollution, and noise reduction, the benefits of forest bathing and phytoncides. Lifestyle constraints. Urban residents may have limited time for green spaces or community activities. Technical management requirement. Growing and maintaining greenery requires expertise and professional support. And sustainability, cost, and systems for long-term maintenance can be a barrier, which is actually not that cheap project. So green space equity, this is another element we need to consider. This is the research from China. They found that green space is actually not used equally for people, especially for the low educated groups, older adults, low income groups, and migrant households. So low educated groups, they don't know how to use green space in their daily life. And older adults, they have access to travel. They can't go to that space. They prefer open parks nearby, but they have some disability or they have some illness. They can't connect 100%. So low income groups, income groups has a green space in neighborhood, but this is not the city or government planted green, so that they grow greens by themselves, so that they need to take care of those plants. It requires time and effort, so that they might need a financial support from the government or local district. Also, migrant household, they are isolated to the local people, and also the expat people who are working in the country, but they are originally from different countries. Those people are not connected with the local people, local community. So the key message is that inclusive green space planning must address both access and social use to reduce inequalities. So, first, the bathing is pretty simple. The sights, sounds, smells, taste, and the feel of the forest. So we could use our five senses easily. And then green spaces help provide shade, reduce flood risk, support the natural ecosystem, and mitigate urban heat. However, green spaces is not only an environmental strategy. This should be, they support our health. So nature-based approaches are low cost and are safe and accessible ways to promote health. So evidence shows benefits for reducing anxiety and stress, lowering systolic blood pressure, and supporting cardiovascular disease prevention. Of course, it's better to go to the forest or mountains, ocean, rivers. We could get more flow of the nature benefits. However, even without going to forests, urban green spaces, city planning, and everyday activities such as gardening can be used as effective public health promotion strategies. More research is still needed. However, this field has a great potential for building sustainable environments and healthy societies. So I hope my presentation encourages you to take interest in this area and to try one small nature-based action in your daily life, maybe starting tomorrow. Thank you very much for your attention.